Or how about CPS? Amber was talking about this. The consequence of the governor's threat against her and families like hers across this state is not only will she and her husband be arrested for child abuse, for loving and caring for and helping their child, as all of us who are parents want to do with our kids, but that child and every other kid in the house will be turned over to CPS care, where right now there are 32,000 kids in that system. One that is probably the worst run in the United States of America. But in case you have not seen the trend yet, Abbott has warned about a problem like the underlying frailty of the grid, does nothing. About the number of school shootings in the state of Texas, and does nothing. 7 years ago, warned by Judge Janice Jack that kids emerge from this foster care system more damaged than when they first went in, does nothing, so that in January of this year, that same federal judge says, hey, Governor, that situation I described to you 7 years ago, it has gone from bad to worse. These young fellow Texans of ours who were taken from their families in so many cases, who were raised sometimes in the hallways, sleeping on the desks and under the tables of CPS offices, are literally the most vulnerable among us. And we do not lack for the resources to help them out. We're the 9th largest economy on the planet, a $2 trillion GDP. We just need somebody in a position of power who will elevate those who need it the most right now. We win this election. We fix CPS. Y por el último, you've got a governor today who has no track record on which to run, no vision to offer the people of this state. So he'll resort to trying to scare you, to make you afraid of your fellow Texans, about how gay they are, or how much of an immigrant they might be, or how different than you are, and you've got to be afraid, and you maybe even need to hate them. We understand that full well in El Paso, Texas. On the eve of a massacre that took 23 of my neighbors in August of 2019, Greg Abbott sent out a message to the state. He said, Texans, referring to immigrants who are coming to America at our border, said, we must defend ourselves. We must take matters into our own hands. There was a young man not too far from here in Allen, Texas, who heard a message like that loud and clear. Purchase an AK-47, a weapon originally intended for use in combat, because it is just so damn devastatingly effective at taking human lives, destroying all of the soft tissue, your organs, your vessels, your arteries. You bleed out before you can be resuscitated, revived, and survive. That's exactly what it's supposed to do on a battlefield or a theater of war. When he orders that gun, his mom calls the police. She says, I have no idea what my son needs with this weapon. She may also have signaled other signs of distress in this young man's life, but because we do not have a red flag law, because Greg Abbott won't listen to common sense, and because he has stoked and inflamed the hatred that was in that young man's heart, the cop said, ma'am, I'm sorry. You're on your own. Good luck. There is nothing that we can do. He drove that AK-47 650 miles to my hometown, posted online before he walked into that Walmart that he had arrived to repel the invasion of Hispanics who were going to replace him as a white man in this state. So let me tell you this. When you hear the fear-mongering from this demagogue, vilifying and demonizing immigrants at our border, talking about invasions, maybe parroting the language that Donald Trump used about an infestation and animals and rapists and criminals who are coming to get us, I just want you to understand the logical conclusion of what he's doing right now. And I also want us to understand that this one is also on us, because Republicans, Democrats, members of Congress, presidential administrations have failed to fix this challenge at our border, and they've left it open as an issue that can be used by people like Greg Abbott to distract you from the things that are really important or from the solutions that we deserve. So I commit to you this. We're going to replace busing migrants to Washington, D.C. and Chicago, Illinois, and New York City, building 1.5 miles of wall like that's going to do anything for anybody, involuntarily activating 10,000 members of the Guard who right here in Denton didn't have but a week to say goodbye to their spouses, to their kids, to their careers for a 1-year involuntary deployment on the border. 8 of them have died so far. Not a single one killed by a migrant. Those who serve us in uniform deserve better from us. So we replace that with this. Hear me out. We say this: if you want to come to this country, you must follow our laws. On our side, we are going to upgrade our laws so that they reflect our values, our needs, and our reality here on the ground. If you want to work in Texas and you come from another country, we're going to do our best to ensure that there's a safe, legal, orderly path for you to do that. If you want to join family that you have been separated from, a safe, legal, orderly path. If you have traveled 2,000 miles seeking asylum and refuge in a country comprised of asylum seekers and refugees, we're going to make sure there's a safe, legal, orderly path for you to do that. And when we do that, and we remove everyone who wants to be able to do better for themselves, and by extension, they do better for all of us, all that is left are anyone who wants to do us harm, trafficking in illegal drugs, smuggling human beings. Right now, they are needles in a haystack. We address immigration from our perspective right here in Texas, bringing Republicans and Democrats alike together. That haystack is gone. All that is left is the threat. We'll be so much more successful at stopping it. Do you want to do this as the defining immigrant and border state in America? This is ours to get right, and we're going to do it.